Hey everyone, Regal Reviews here. It is White Rice Wednesday, which means it's time for my Survivor recap. So, to recap on tonight's episode, it's basically, the aftermath of the Rourke vote off last week, and Allie's pissed, which is understandable, but she's taken it to like the up team degree. She was acting kind of like a drama queen. She didn't understand why Ryan went with her, but Allie's vote explained it all. Allie voted for Chrissy, and Ryan explained that, he thought that her and Rourke were getting too close together, so how was Ryan supposed to trust Allie at all? And Allie was upset and she let her feelings known, and vice versa. Ryan was trying to explain himself and apologize for it. But then the second Ryan gets frustrated with Allie, Ryan's not allowed to be frustrated. She's like, "Why are you being so upset? I don't understand this." I'm like, "You're the one that's yelling at him and everything. It's ridiculous to me." On the Yawa tribe, Mike actually caught a fish, and Mike's not real. I gotta give Mike credit. He's not in his element, like Ben said. He also gave him credit too, saying that he's not in his element, but he's adapting well out here. And the people on the Yawa tribe are starting to not like Cole. Ben says the only thing Cole cares about is himself because apparently he caught a big fish and ate it all to himself instead of sharing it with the tribe, whereas Mike caught a smaller fish, and as small as it was, and it was pretty itty bitty, he shared it with everybody. And Cole said that he needs more food because he needs them to win challenges, and I agree with both of them. I agree with Ben the fact that Cole should have maybe shared the food, but then I also agree with Cole because he's one of the challenge beasts on the tribe, and they do need to win challenges, so maybe Cole does need a little bit more, but I also think, he should have shared it. And we also see that the Jessica and Cole power couple alliance, that's still going strong. That was suspicious last week. We thought that maybe Jessica might dump Cole as an alliance member, but they seem to be going strong. The reward challenge, they had to race to a set of poles to get a buoy and transport it over this balance beam and onto a mat. Then they had to go to a boat and untie knots on the platform, and then they had to use a slingshot to knock down targets. And with that one, it was more it was going back and forth a bit. The Lavu tribe was a bit behind at one point, but then it really got all neck and neck, and the Soko tribe ended up winning the reward, and Yawa came in second. And the reward was they got boxes of pizza, and I love pizza. I bet you half the tribe out there loves pizza, so that they got this big pizza to eat. That was probably awesome. And the second tribe just got one box of pizza to share. So, Soko is enjoying their reward challenge. I mean, I'd be enjoying that pizza too. And Ryan brings up the fact that JP is a physical threat. I mean, we've seen JP in challenges. He's the one that's carrying the team in the challenges. And Ryan's afraid that, with a merge coming, that JP could be a threat because if he's good in challenges now, he's probably going to be a challenge beast when the merge comes. On Lavu, Ashley and Devin discussed potentially going to Rocks. That if Lavu loses tonight, they have an alliance of Ashley and Devin voting together, and Desi and Joe voting together. And both Ashley and Devin are wondering, would Desi flip on Joe? And Devin's also nervous about Joe because he's been very strategic, and we've seen Joe. He's been finding these idols, and he's been playing them at the right time. And Desi did say that she would flip on Joe because she thinks that Joe would stick with her to a point and then vote her off when need be. And I agree with that. I definitely think that Joe is very similar to Tony and Kagayan, his his gameplay, because Tony was able to make the alliances he needed to, and he had alliances going throughout the game, but then when he figured he didn't need them anymore, that's when he got rid of them. And that's why I feel like it's going with Joe. And Joe is Joe's smart. He's thinking, he could potentially be on the line at the next vote. So he goes looking for an idol clue again, and sure enough, he finds a clue. And, with Devin keeping an eye on him, he just can't go and look for the clue. So he actually goes at night, and Joe finds his second immunity idol for the season. And I gotta give Joe credit. He is definitely the idol king of this season, and only proves what I've said in previous recaps, that he seems a lot like Tony and his gameplay and just his personality. And on the Yawa tribe, I seriously thought someone was going to be medevac because Cole actually passed out. And whether you like Cole or not, I mean, a medevac is not the way to go out on Survivor. I mean, you at least have some dignity when you're just voted out of the game, but to go out for medevac, that's just awful. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. But it's a good thing. Well, it's not a good thing Cole passed out, but it's a good thing he passed out on the right tribe, because both Jessica and Mike are healers. Jessica's a nurse and Mike's a doctor, so they're able to get him back to where he was able to function properly again and and get him hydrated. But Mike also said that at one point, they need to get rid of Cole because, one, the Jessica and Cole alliance, and two, they think he will be a threat going forward, and just that they're kind of getting annoyed by Cole. The immunity challenge was freaking awesome. They had to pull on this rope that suspended this disc, and they had to work to stack this puzzle, and the puzzle would spell immunity. But, if you just move just a little bit, the whole stack falls down. And it was neck and neck for a while. As soon as one tribe got all the letters, like I believe Soko at one point had all the letters, but then they moved and they dropped it. And same thing with Yawa. They had the letters, but then they moved and dropped it. And Yawa actually ended up winning the first immunity, and Lavu won a second immunity, sending Soko to tribal council. And what I thought was interesting, I saw a comment on Twitter from Purple Rock Podcast. They said about, Cole just passing out. Why did he sit out of the challenge? And I agree with that. He just passed out. Why the heck would you have him compete in a challenge where it requires you to bounce a lot? But I guess they saw that Cole was hydrated and he was able to compete. On the Soko tribe, a lot of the tribe members think that Ali is the obvious next vote, but Ryan also brings up what I mentioned before, that JP is a physical threat, and he wants to, apologize to Ali for the previous vote and try to get Ali on this vote. Ali doesn't trust Ryan, but agrees that JP is a threat, and Chrissy, then Ali, needs to get Chrissy on their side, because 2 against 2, 2 against 2, that's not going to cut it. So, Ali talks to Chrissy, and Chrissy doesn't trust Ali at all. Chrissy says that she trusts Ryan more, and they agree that they're going to stick together and vote the same way at Tribal, which we don't know which way that's going to be yet. But, very interesting. So at Tribal, Ryan talks about Ali reacting to the Rourke vote. And JP mentions, at this point in the game that this is when the physical threats are voted off. And yeah, it is, because you don't want a challenge beast like, for example, Joe Anglem to get far in the game, because he is like the golden boy challenge beast. Like, he could win any challenges. Like, you want to get those people off right before the merge, so that way at least you have a chance to win. And they're talking about JP and how he's quiet. Even Jeff was impressed at how quiet JP was, and Chrissy pointed out that, she's been with JP from day one and says that JP plays a very quiet game, and I'd agree with that statement. I think JP, he's an obvious physical threat, but I also think he's a strategic. He's thinking strategically, but not like too obvious. Like he's thinking about who he should line up in his next move, but not as strategic as Ryan though. And sure enough, Allie ended up getting sent home, and I agree with their vote. I know there's going to be people whining and complaining that Allie got sent home because she was a fan favorite among many this season, but like I mentioned last week when Rourke got voted out, you gotta let it go. It's a game. You can't make one vote out your whole game. It's just makes you very annoying and a very unlikable player, and vice versa outside the game as a viewer. It just makes you very annoying that that's all you're going to talk about the rest of the game. Like, oh, I'm so upset Allie's gone. Oh, I don't like this person now because Allie's gone. Oh, I don't like that person because he voted out Allie off. I mean, like, come on, it's a game. It's a game. I mean, get over it. I definitely think they made the right move going forward, because I feel like Allie would have been a very strategic mastermind going forward, and she was a leader. She was a leader on the original Hustler tribe. She was able to form an alliance when she needed to, and she was able to make those connections, and that's why I think Allie would have been dangerous going forward, because she is a social player and would have been able to make alliances and be able to control other people. So the previews for next week show that it is merge time, and this is when all hell breaks. This is when all hell breaks loose, and it's every man for himself. And Mike said it perfectly. It's gonna be a war next week. I'm wondering, are alliances gonna stay? Are power couples gonna stay? Are we gonna see new alliances forming? Like, how did the tribe swap affect the relationships and alliances, or did it at all? I am excited though, the fact that I took notice that in the previews that the merge buff, which is usually black, is now going to be purple this season. It looks like a very cool design, very cool purple color. So I'm very excited to see a color besides the usual black merge buff for a change. So I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's Survivor. If you guys want to check out Survivor, it is on Wednesdays, 8 p.m. on CBS. Till next time, stay regal.